It's Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. Want to talk real quick just about setting up your system to be able to winterize. Whether or not you're running an antifreeze through it or not, you do need to have a way to at the very least blow the lines out with air compressor. What I've rigged up, and I'm working on simplifying this because I do want to just make it kind of a single spot to hook the air up, and then just a series of ball valves at this point. So just to kind of explain the basics, we've got our supply hose coming in here, got a bowl filter there that comes up through here. We got just our little connector, and then this supply hose will typically go straight up and into the tank where we have a Hudson float valve, so we don't overfill that. So we actually finish the day with a decent amount of water. This bottom valve can actually be opened up to flush one of the other machines that it's plumbed to. We're currently working on getting that one fixed up. This supply line can also be used to run our other direct drive machine. So in that situation, what we would actually do is we would open this up full bore, leave that open also. The majority of the flow, the other machine, direct drive, is a 5.5 gallon a minute machine. So the vast majority is going to go through that line. Anything else, though, is going to make its way up into the tank, and certainly anything that's bypassing from the 5.5 machine will end up back in there. You know, we always make sure that 8 gallon a minute certainly comes number one in that pecking order. Again, going to simplify this a lot, you can actually see down here all the different fittings and everything that I've got for this project and a couple of others. And true to typical plumbing situations for us, you never have the right piece. You can have a million of the wrong piece, but you never have exactly what you're looking for. So basically, I've got it set up for two different ways to blow the lines out. This top one, and then this bottom one. So the top one is actually going to just take care of all the supply lines, and then this bottom one takes care of everything going into the system, and then this takes care of everything going out. So I've got a cam lock here, which comes down through a section of 1/2 inch roof hose. And I've got a, I'll show you this here. We've got a 1/2 inch barb to 3/4 inch, and then 3/4 female, to a 1/2 inch female, 1/2 inch male, with this ball valve here. Just a little air compressor one. See that there, and then obviously back into the actual air compressor hose line. So once this is turned on, the only reason really we had that there is so when we switch between them, and also if you've ever dealt with blowing out lines, you don't want to unhook one of those fittings while everything's fully pressurized, because you do run that risk of a massive amount of basically compressed air and whatever chemicals spraying back at you. So right now with this bottom system, and I am going to have to throw another ball valve in there so we can kind of force air one way more than the other. I've closed off the tank valve. Water in there is going to be fine. We're not anticipating a real deep freeze tonight, just maybe maybe an hour below freezing. So I doubt this tank will get anywhere near close to freezing there. Ideally though, I mean, if you're expecting a couple days, you do want to drain the entire tank, so we would have typically done that beforehand and then just shut that down. From here, so with this open, which again, I've got that ball valve there, so if I need to just run a dump line, I can do that. This goes to the 8 gallon a minute belt drive Pressure Pro machine, and ultimately comes back to this hose reel with a high pressure hose as well as the bypass. One thing, we'll shut this down for just a few seconds so it blows out the bypass, and then leave this open. You can run the air compressor and system for a couple minutes, 10 minutes, or do whatever else you need to do to make sure all the water's fully been discharged out of it. Same thing with the garden hose. Now that's going to be a little bit more forgiving, just with it being a rubber flex hose. Got a lot of that Craftsman stuff. once I'm done that end, I'll shut that. And it's at this point we're putting out a whole lot more pressure from the air compressor. I do need to dial that down. But so that side, what that does is that comes out. I'll show you here. Comes over to inlet for the three-way ball valve. So this is also how we flush the system, or if we're making mix, we switch it, pull from the mixed or pull from the freshwater tank. This is the main supply line into our liquid force roof machine from Russ. You've got your outlet. Now what we've got it set up is we got the outlet that goes to either orange reel or a blue electric reel down there. Need to fix a couple things on that one so we can get that one back up in working order, and we also have the extra machine down there which is also plumbed to run off of that mix tank. So again, we can just switch right there back and forth. So obviously for blowing out the orange hose first, we're gonna turn that this way. I've already taken some like the hose, so that's now spraying into the mix tank itself. And then if we need to do blue tank, same thing, or blue reel, we would just switch that ball valve around, put the gun so that it's spraying in there. That way that gets completely cleared out. Down here, and again, this is also, we need to run one more line and then probably actually just have like a dummy line come off of this. It's one of the few times that you'd actually shut off all your bypass lines. I'm going to go ahead and open this one up just so that we don't end up starting the day with something closed. But so with our bypass line, we're going to come through here. This circulates back into our bleach tank here. This one goes into the mix tank, and that one that's already got the barb on it, we're going to cut off some of the red hose and actually run a line just so that this is going to be the flush valve for flushing it back into the bulk tank. That way we can take better care of this machine and pump. So that pretty well covers it. The only other thing really for winterizing would be to actually put shut-off valves right there, so that we're really minimizing the amount that's in any hose line. This line also runs over to the outlet of the mix tank. Ideally that would be in there. I really do like this this black hose. You got it off Amazon. You can get it at any of your ag supply places. But it does have a good bit of give to it, and especially since it's not in any of the areas where we're actually going to have suction. This is, for the most part, we're force feeding from there, so that's going to be fine. This side, again, we'll upgrade some of this in the future, but for right now it is getting the job done. So I know that went long. Hope this helps, guys. Again, don't judge the fact that it's a little bit sloppy. That is going to be tidied up as part of the overall redoing of the plumbing there. So hope that helps, guys. Have a great night. Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland.